You're watching CineVerse Hub, where sequels don't extend stories, they interrogate them. And I Am Legend 2 isn't interested in repeating isolation. It's interested in exposing it. For years, Robert Neville was the symbol of endurance. The last disciplined mind in a world overrun. A man with a lab, a mission, and a belief that the past was worth resurrecting. The cure wasn't just science. It was faith in restoration. But this chapter opens with a harder truth. Survival is not the same as being right. Neville lives. And that changes everything. Because while he was perfecting formulas and broadcasting hope into empty airwaves, the infected were not frozen in chaos. They were evolving structure, establishing order, learning restraint. What once looked like rage now reveals patterns. What once felt like infection now resembles adaptation. The world didn't end. It transitioned. The abandoned cities aren't graveyards anymore. They're ecosystems. Skyscrapers wrapped in vines house nocturnal societies. Subway tunnels echo with coded signals. Firelight flickers in windows not as traps but as language. Neville begins to see it in fragments. The way they retrieve their wounded. The way they protect children. The way they respond not just to threat but to memory. And that's when the narrative fractures. Enter the new voice of this world. A survivor born after collapse, played by Michael B. Jordan. He doesn't carry nostalgia. He carries perspective. To him, Neville's cure isn't salvation. It's erasure. A refusal to acknowledge that evolution has already occurred. Their tension doesn't ignite in gunfire. It unfolds in conversation. Neville argues that humanity must reclaim dominance. That intelligence, culture, history give them the right to define the future. Jordan's character counters with something far more unsettling. Survival does not grant ownership. Change does not require permission. What if the so-called monsters are not the disease, but the descendants? The infected now show coordination, ritual, even diplomacy. They avoid certain territories. They respond to symbols. They retaliate only when provoked. The more Neville observes, the clearer it becomes. He wasn't studying an enemy. He was resisting a successor. And here's the twist that reshapes the entire mythos. The first film asked how long a man can stay human when he's alone. The sequel asks what human even means when you're no longer the majority. The cure becomes a moral dilemma. If administered globally, it could restore one species while annihilating another. Not through bombs, through biology. Neville stands at the edge of his own legacy. If he deploys the cure, he becomes humanity's savior. If he doesn't, he accepts that humanity is no longer the sole author of Earth's future. The streets reflect that uncertainty. Human enclaves trade cautiously at the borders of infected territory. Signals are exchanged instead of bullets. Fear still lingers, but so does curiosity. This isn't a war movie.